Once again, we got that Game Pass thing to start us off, YouTube. Uh, this is day 2 of uh, Kentucky Route Zero on the Xbox, and we are starting at the beginning of Act 3. I still have little idea what the hell's going on in this game, but it is a interesting and weird world, and I'm all for that. When we left off yesterday, um, we were introduced to our dog, Homer, who is the main character Conway's dog that he inherited from the uh, friend who was the owner of the antique shop that he now does deliveries for. We were also introduced to um, several strange and interesting people. And we're trying to find Kentucky Route Zero so that he can take whatever this antique is to the uh, people on Dogwood Drive, and it just keeps getting weirder and weirder in all the best David Lynch style ways. Continue. All right, so we are starting Act 3, not Chapter 3. "101 by late afternoon." That's about what it is here right now. Um, we are gonna have just a little bit of sugar. Okay, Lisette. Um, we're up on a roof, Ira and I, and Charlie eating a light supper. I was drinking sweet tea. Charlie was reading. We're surrounded by other houses, closely packed, huge sidewalks. It must have been a, what's that word? Subdivision? That's it, I'm sure. Below us, a group of people were gathered, standing quietly. A man was reading from a book. I asked Ira about the weather. Would it rain on Tuesday, or when would the sun set? Something like that. He wouldn't answer me. Charlie stood up, and Ira told him to watch his step, and then I remembered. I woke up before I could stop him. Oh, I guess Charlie was her kid, and he died. Um, yes, he was. So bright, his teacher said. What was that? What was the word? Apt. How could I forget? Wasn't his fault. Wasn't anyone's fault, Conway. That's what we mean when we say it's accident. Sure. Well, we have a mail order delivery today. Might be a long drive. I hope the truck can hold up. They sent it in by mail. Maybe just a shut in. I don't recognize the address. The order is all. I'm sure we can fill it. How much left back there? That's good. I wouldn't want a disused pile of antiques to be my, oh, what's that word? Legacy. Maybe. That's not the word. I just need to think a bit. For coffee or something, or I've had too much. It's getting harder. Yes, it is. Those boxes you set in the hallway? Those are your clothes. You packed them yesterday. Hey, of course. Or should be here soon. Will you wait with me? Sure, I'll wait with you. Old Kentucky home with Kate? No, okay. It's very quiet on the radio announcer. It's just there for atmosphere more than anything else. Only if you want to make a late payment or on a follow-up visit. I think everything went well enough here that they'll only want to bill for... Oh, he's awake. How do you feel, old man? All fixed up? Truman says you might be a bit misty coming out of it, so... I was dreaming. Unlikely. Neuropnol trademark is quite powerful. In fact, many patients report a sensation of lost time. You feel like you've lost time? I guess so. About 2 hours. I feel like I got some rest. Good. How about that leg? How's your leg feeling? Yeah, that's the important part. So yesterday, got his leg caught in a cave-in in a mine. That's been limping around. McGee, welcome back. You're having a good Wednesday. Conway shifts his leg a bit in the chair, testing it. Well, this isn't my leg. Oh yeah, it looks like a robot or a skeleton, spooky, scary skeleton. Isn't my leg? Of course it's your leg. It looks wrong. You replaced it. Well, I haven't encountered this reaction before, but it's not totally unheard of. Read a paper about something like this last year. It can happen for a lot of reasons: neurological, psychological, social. I'm sure it won't persist in your case. Thoughts and feelings are probably still a little nebulous from the Neuropnol trademark. I'm assuming that's what the TM stands for. That's totally normal. It'll pass. I wouldn't recommend driving at least for another hour or two regardless. Thank you, doctor. Sure, it's... Talk about a few things you should be aware of. Recovery, rehabilitation, and side effects. How long am I going to be recovering? Well, at your age, I want to be clear. You should expect lingering effects of the injury for more or less the rest of your life. Don't immerse it fully in water. Don't, can't go swimming. Avoid extremes of temperature. I'd stay away from dusty roads and mountain lines as much as possible. What? Advice in any yeah, I guess. Keep it clean and free of debris. What do I clean it with? Soft cloth moistened with water or isopropyl alcohol, okay? You'll definitely want to avoid abrasive agents like detergents or other solvents. So did he get a prosthetic? If you have any questions about the bill that didn't make sense, I didn't mean to rush you, but I have an early fishing trip. Well, looks like we're on American healthcare system. It's one of the atypical clauses. I don't really have any control over the bill. Now that the Consolidated Power Company bought my employer, they handle everything. Oh, so the power company controls healthcare. I sure hope it isn't PG&E. It all runs through your electricity bill now. You can pay it back in full in your next billing cycle, or you can get on an energy credit payment plan. You'd have to call Consolidated for more detail about that. I don't really understand how it works. Something about generating electricity to send back into the grid. Oh, one more thing, don't be alarmed if you experience any side effects of the Neuropnol EM. Typically, we see daydreaming, deja vu, pensiveness, fugue states, irregular perception of time. Well, those are all, the good things, right? About 15% of patients report a generalized sensation of lateness. Nothing to be alarmed about, just keep it in mind. For your help, Julian's outside. We can head back to your truck. Healthcare simulator, yeah. Oh, we can't fully submerge our leg in that water. Southernmost part of the parking lot. Near the moon's reflection, you'll automatically switch. Conway to... Okay. Aura. Oh, I sure hope there's not any sewer clown. Are those people like your new family? I think we're friends are actually kind of weird. I don't... I don't have any friends because I'm so busy. Too bad it's not raining anymore. Did you make that boat? Like the rain? I'm an excellent swimmer. So what's the boat for? Okay. Oh, fuck. I just realized I made the wrong dialogue choices. Forgot I'm supposed to be following for the achievements. Chat, I'm in shambles. Let's hope it didn't fuck me over there. A game by Cardboard Computer. Da da da. How's your Wednesday, McGee? Enjoying the game too much and forgot about achievements? I know, right? I wanted to have like a 100% walkthrough on my channel. And I'm a fool. A fool, I tell you. Act 3, Scene 1. Okay. Hopefully, hopefully we're Gucci. Museum of Dwellings. Alright. Not bad. Okay, so I do have a robot leg. Prosthetic, spooky, scary skeleton leg. Alright. Those people like your new family, I think we're friends. I don't have any friends because I'm so busy. Too bad it's not raining anymore. Alright, did you make that boat? Hold it out of some paper from the front desk. How far do you think it will go? Should stand here and watch it until it disappears over the horizon with a far-off look in our eyes. I'll lean my head on your shoulder, and right when it's a tiny speck, just before it vanishes, you'll say something romantic. Okay? Well, we better get started. It's a day that ends in day, so my Wednesday is going shitty. Oh. I'm sorry to hear that, but I completely understand about days that end in day being awful. At least it's not 100 freedom degrees where you are right now. Right, so we have to wait for this little boat to float away. Float away. All right. Can you still see it? Yeah, just barely if I squint. Better hurry up with the poem or something. Um, all in the golden afternoon, leisurely we glide, for both our oars with little skill, but by little arms are plied. Oh no, it's the middle of the night. It's okay, I like you anyway. Pretty hot here. The feels like would have been in the 90s. You, one weather website I use, it said hot with sizzling sunshine. It's like, fuck off. You don't need to make it cutesy. All right. Head out when you're ready, but Conway's old truck won't. All right. All right. Check in on Homer. Get some rest back there, bud. I don't feel rested myself, but I'm tired most of the time these days. That's a fucking true statement. All right. Truck. What's the plan here? Head back to zero, I guess. Hope these are the right files. I mean, I'm pretty sure for what Lula was asking for, but it's kind of a mess in that storage facility. How do we get back there, though? The entrance at the farmhouse was gone. Guess look at the farmhouse. Maybe we missed something. All right. They're ready to leave. Birkin Road. Where was the farmhouse? Was oh, the truck's engine sputters and dies as Conway guides it carefully off the road next to a fallen tree. A tree. All right. Nothing to be done. Can you take a look at it? Guess I could poke around in there, but I don't know a damn thing about engines. Well, you're better than me because fix TVs. That's why you always leave your truck running. It's up on a hill. First time it's just died like this. I get the picture. Okay. You know this area? Anywhere around here that can give us a hand? I drove past here yesterday. What were we doing out here yesterday? Uh, what I asked you. I saw two strangers by the road. Maybe it was a dream. I dreamed that. All right. You know a good towing company. If you want a really great towing service for car accidents, check out Drop Dead Artemis's towing service. You finger him, he'll tow him. Uh, Lucky Boat, Lucky Boot. Sure, let's say Lucky Boot. All right, I'll give him a call. I hope I can get a signal out here. Speaks in the large brick cell phone held up to her ear. Okay. Gotten an old, I want to say diesel old truck that just stalled out. This is Lucky Boot Collision Towing, right? A friend gave me a card. Open 23 hours a day. That's all. We need to get to an auto shop and get this taken care of. We offer, but we really just need a tow is all. 38, as soon as you can get out here, we're off 65 somewhere, just kind of pulled up by this tree that fell over. Actually, a pretty accurate description of it. Yeah, hanging over the power lines just like that. Did you see it go down? How long do you think you'll be? Traffic sound, all right. Are you bored? Not yet. Okay. To me, you look a little bored. Let's play a game. You like to play. You can tell the future with this little tree branch. Pretty easy. We just break off all the little sticks on each section and count through the different things that could happen, okay? Should we ask it? It should be about you. I can't do both the counting out and the questions. What kind of bed will I sleep in? What kind of job will I have next? Doctor, lawyer, taxman, driver. Driver. Okay, what else? What kind of bed will I sleep in tonight? King size, queen size, twin size bunk, alright? Bunk. Other branches are too bare, don't worry about it too much, it's just a bunch of sticks. Homer. Julian wasn't so... Julian. Got a lot of houses to carry still, I guess it's not so bad. Alright. Julian's like you, he doesn't talk much. I like hanging out with you folks anyway. Think they're on their way. Guess we have some time to kill. We could look at the roadmap again. Pretty grim place to be stuck. But should I have talked to her before I talk to the other ones? Get that old map anyway. It's always just been in the truck. Someone must have grabbed it at a gas station somewhere along the line, or maybe they threw it in the glove box at the dealership. My parents bought their first car here. It came with a map. I used to sit in the back and pore over it. Aunt Remedios saw me looking at it, I guess, and a few days later she gave me a map she'd brought from Colombia. It looked almost hand-painted, deep, vibrant colors and rough borderlines, anxious brush strokes. Really pretty. Slowly traced the coastline with my finger. I was walking on the beach and say, here we'll swim, here we'll start a fire, here we'll find a cave in the cliff face and go live among the bats for a while. I think I'll take a look at it, at that radio of yours. Maybe I can get it going again. No point just standing around. Alright. How's it looking? The leads are badly corroded, but I'm making progress. What I like about working on electronics, it gets easier as you go on. Or you just get used to it. Almost there. Synth pop music plays on the radio. Okay. Oh, Junebug was the person who didn't show up from the at the bar and the other one. Of course it is. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. The trees are so quiet, right? Usually you'd hear birds, wind, a squirrel, or something. Turn your ears down and focus on the radio, Cricket. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm a little bored. I'll work on some chord progressions in my head for a while or something. Haha. Look at the road ahead. How far out are we? I don't know. 20 minutes. Are we there yet? Stop. He's not going to be happy. You know he doesn't like me anyway. Tell me you have to get that drain pipe on tape. Okay? Wouldn't appreciate it, but man, the way those raindrops boom down that thing, I got at least 30 minutes of it. Okay, so this is all, I guess, set up from Act 2. For the interlude between Act 2 and Act 3. More than all silver and gold of this earth. Could have been a poet. I'll leave poetry to the professionals. What's on your mind, Cricket? I don't know. Just looking at the stars. Hope we get there soon. Never been this late. Keep on dreaming. I'll keep on driving. Thank you, ma'am. They look like they could use some help. You gonna fix it up for them, Johnny? I don't know, a wrench from a cattle prod. If you don't know a wrench from a cattle prod, you might be a little soft in the head. Guess it's up to some good Samaritan. Okay, we'll help them. Best. And hey, maybe if they're not busy, you can fill some seats at the gig, you know. If no one's there, Harry will try and bill us on our fee. Alright, Ezra. Is that him? Who? What? Yeah, they're too fast for a truck. But they're getting chased by something. Maybe they just have somewhere important to be. Definitely getting chased by something. That all the regrets that they've ever made in their life, because that's what's chasing me. Mechanical noises as they move. Are they robots? Are they replicants? Stay here. Careful, he's wicked with strangers. You didn't have to stop. We've got a tow coming. That Cricket, we didn't have to stop. Oh, why did we stop? Good question. These folks seem to have a certain handle on the situation, so... Oh. Thought you were stopping to help. Sure. Something like that. Listen. Got two questions for you folks. What kind of people do you take us for? I mean, how do we strike you? Not sure I follow. What kind of temperament do you think we have? What kind of work would you say we do? Guess some kind of art thing, maybe. Maybe. He's the artist. I'm just an entertainer. Here's another question for you. Do you like music? Um, who doesn't like music? If you don't like music, I think there's something deeply wrong with you, and you might be a psychopath. No offense if you're a psychopath, but say they should come to our gig. What an idea. Well, we're waiting for a tow right now. Oh, I won't hear about it. This time of night, you'll be kicking your heels till dawn. Music resident sleeper. Fix your truck up. Me and Johnny are a couple of regular gearheads. I just put a new cylinder block in this baby over here. Vicious cycle. Ooh, I like that. What we call our bike. All the vicious cycle. Pretty tough, huh? Be fixed up quick so you can come to the gig. See, we have a regular booking tonight, and well, we're running late. Very late. But I told them, now the old man who runs this venue, Harry Esperanza, is a notorious withholder. If we don't get a few bodies in the crowd, well, he'll go all penny pinching on us. A short set. We only have one song prepared. Come to the gig, won't you? Of course we will. You believe we almost didn't stop? Hungry old man, I think I've got a crust in the sidecar here. Donna here saw you folks are in trouble. Well, it's all said and done. We stopped. That's all that matters. Our gig's at an old tavern called the Lower Depths. It's over there by old Charlie Moran Highway, just east off 65. Usually take a right off the interstate around the arcade. Johnny likes the arcade. That place, I just put fresh batteries in my field recorder. Now let's see about that truck of yours. I feel certain we can get it running. All right. Go north. Go right when you see the arcade. Oh, there's the arcade. All right. Go to the tavern then. The lower depths. Let me just options. There we go. Are you sure they're open? Sure, they're open. This is one of those places. Head on in. Not saints, but we've kept your appointment. How many people can boast as much? Lovely, ma'am. Who said it? Poet? This is the area that we saw in the play at the end of the of Act 2. All important tonight is Hard Times Whiskey. Well, got any coffee going? Well, I mean, sure. No Coke, no coffee, Hard Times Whiskey. See, lady, that's why you gotta pay attention. Get it. Hey, shut the GD door, would you? I can't afford to run the AC all night. Sorry, Harry. Oh, it's you two. Where have you been? Never mind, listen, I can't keep this place open through the small hours of the night. It's waiting for you musicians. It's lonely, doesn't it? Yeah, kinda. How about some music? Nobody here to listen to it. I can't pay for... Brought some people, Harry. Crowd is forming. Yeah, but also couldn't you use a break, Harry? When you want to hear some music, Harry, that does sound nice after the day I've had. But I was looking out there. How are y'all feeling tonight? We get a bit more reverb in the monitors. How's that? Test 1 1 1 350. Lamentation. Sounds good. All right. Anybody had a real bad night? I mean, dude lost his leg, so pretty bad. Try not to make it too much worse. This is a song I heard in a tavern many years ago at an open mic night. Me and Johnny were out just riding around. You know, you like to drive around, old man? That's where I feel at home. Of course you do. We were out riding around and we passed this gaudy old tavern, and I mean it was a real dive. Busted up facade, weeds in the parking lot, taps all dry, hats in the bar room, and run by this creaky bag of bones. Looked like the only thing keeping him awake was the fear of death. So glad to be back here at the lower depths. Hey now. So we stopped for an early drink, and there was a lady singing right here on stage. The song she sang, well, it stuck with us, and now it's a regular part of our repertoire. Never got that lady's name, but she seemed like a sweet gal, and she had a voice like Scotch whiskey. We just hope we do her song justice. So here it is. Too Late to Love You. That was give me major Twin Peaks vibes. And they had the show in the Roadhouse that just gets weird and dreamy like that. All right. So from here, you liked it. Kind of sad, isn't it? I've heard it before. I don't doubt that. You look like you spent an evening or two in a grimy old tavern. Listen, we appreciate you folks sticking around for the show. There's nothing more wretched than playing sad songs to an empty room. Got to get our fee from Harry, and then we'll get you headed to the Zero. Well, Harry, I think that went pretty well. I'd say the crowd was into it. Reverential. Wrapped. Guess the usual fee is about right, and we'll let you get back to your business. Well, that's just the damn it. I was trying to tell you to. I can't pay. Clean me out. I've got nothing left but a GD IOU from the distillery. An IOU. I traded them some. I traded them for some whiskey. I guess I had some surplus credit, so I got this note to get some more from them later on. Been a hell of a trade. I had to. Got to keep this place open somehow. God damn it. What's your language, Harry? You pay them with your IOU? Well, very contemporary, very astute. How about it, Harry? Push some paper around. Just, I can collect on it here when they bring more whiskey up. For you to cash in, you'd have to go down to, down to the distillery, down to hard times. You've got to take the Zero. That's what we'll do. How do we get there? Are you folks sure you want to head down there? I've never been myself, but people hear things, rumors. Where we've got to go, or do you know another way to Dogwood Drive? Dogwood, got a letter, did you? I've got a stack of them. Okay, sounds like the Zero's your only course now. Harry, you're alright. If only. Got a radio in your car? Yep. Well, here's what you gotta do. Take a left out of the parking lot, and just fill around on your dial until you hear something familiar but strange. You know the feeling? Like, I used to go hunt with my uncle out in the mountains. Now I watch these nature programs. Filmed in the mountains, and there's the deer, and I know all the plants and every kind of tree. Something just doesn't look right. And it's even stranger for being so close to familiar. Something like that. You'll know it when you hear it. Fix that strange but familiar station on your dial, drive for a bit, then turn around when the station cuts out. I mean, right then. You folks find what you're looking for eventually. Always a pleasure, Harry. Is it? Alright. Oh, there's the radio. Ever heard this before? Sounds like horses. Horses running a race? That Naira had some horses years back. Always been a little afraid of them. They're so big and I don't know, you look in their eyes, they're almost human. Almost. They're human and animal at the same time. Since they've been domesticated so long, I guess. Well, it fits familiar but strange for me. Harry said we just drive until it cuts out? Alright. You drive backwards. All of the Mountain King. Act 3, Scene 4. I'm gonna cut him loose, ma'am. Now I'm having fun. Huh, okay, slow night anyway. Bridge. Boardwalk. Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk in the warm California sun. Loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with the fine dust. What computer? Stop all the downloading. Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. Pet carrier. For a cat or a small dog has been left by the path. Calcified rag wadded in the corner may once have been a blanket. Calcified rag. Oh, so it's Lightspeed's blanket. Backpack. Aching backpack leans against a rock. Empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. Okay. Fired. All discarded electronics burn steadily in the center of the chamber. Amy, alright. Triangles within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. You're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew. You were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. You're escorting her, pretending to have her interest at heart, while really you're in love with a young woman as well. So you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections. It's a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture. I'm into it. Well, maybe I still have the knack. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published from the billionaire's bidding, Guilds of Longing. Real hot, bodice-ripping stuff, you know? I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. It's me and my thesaurus steaming up the windows. I'm not sure you should be listening to this, kid. I'm not listening. Of course, it couldn't last, you know. Suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. But I might be able to do something with that. Inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes. Ha. I went back to the university and I studied human-computer interaction. I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester. Keep bugging. Oh, Donald was one of Lula's friends, I think. In my off hours, I played around with the doomed love story at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. Now our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. Are you telling me that there's bugs in video games in 2022? I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Probably pretty expensive nowadays. That apartment. My old man. Puffs on a smoldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Where the old green river runs through the hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? What's that song? Got a verse of my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth. Something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. Old Kentucky, where my love a lovely home did build for me, where the old green river runs, hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Thereon, it's all meandering rivers and romantic greenery, and that is, what were we talking about? That computer over there looks pretty vintage. Like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat up mainframe exhumed from a university basement, left in this cave to rot, or to flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively, and in some pretty experimental ways. Leave you me. That's to say nothing of the software, but look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, know the effects of mold growth on diffused base transistor circuitry? Um, Sounds like it would short circuit. Certainly, but not all of it. Some moldy filaments are more or less conductive than others, and it grows in nonlinear, chaotic patterns. We can guide it a bit. For a simple application of classical horticulture, can't produce specific results, only tendency. Boarded and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. We are mere gardeners in the ruins. Keystrokes echo off into the tunnels. Now listen, bear. The caves stretch far away. You're too late. Always too late. Say something? You're about to tell us about the software. Oh, the software, my life's work, Xanadu. You've heard of it? Perhaps you've read about it in a journal. It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in my article, Literary Multitudes, Hypertextual Narrative, Post-Structural Witness. Evolved and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. I'm afraid you are too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. The mold accumulated on the circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted, and all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? I mean... Sucks for everybody except for Junebug, apparently. Shuffling around the dusty ghosts of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there, in Xanadu. Running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. Xanadu. Random ass people here. Alright. Let's turn it on. Do you think we get it started? Whole thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. I'm not even going to try to read that one. Thing is in rough shape. Did he switch? Do anything? Try blowing on it. Yeah, that's how you fix. How you fix stuff. You just blow on it. Nope. Did that say Lula? Can't tell what she's saying. Oh, I have my portable degosser with me. Alright. Old systems like this one can build up a remnant magnetic field that sort of warps everything along whatever pattern it's settled into, you know? Clears that up by suddenly shaking the magnetic field around until it's uniform again. How I like to think of it anyway, like shaking a snow globe. Haha, worth a shot. All of the mountain ink. Okay. Premature end of file, press any key to quit. Lost cause, what a piece of junk. Bizarre, and what was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. Oh, gotta go back to Donald, which is that way. Nice that it will, it'll auto steer your person just by clicking on it, on the objective you need to go to. Alright, let's talk, Donald. So you've seen it for yourself, what's left of it at the end. Hockey bones of a beautiful dream, but you can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? So much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. Birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The birds could learn to, or the bats could learn to sing. Then it began to crumble when the strangers came. First, we only heard them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. We caught a glimpse of one. What did they look like? What were they working on? What did they look like? No, they look like no, it's too horrible. Didn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're strange. I should never have tried to outwit them. They were always too much for me, but it's too late now. I'd listened to Lula. Lula? Lula Chamberlain? Yes, of course. Oh, do you know her? We're looking for her now. Gone now. She left. We built this together. Did you know? Lula, Joseph, and I. Lula is gone from here, but points across the cave with his pipe. Still in there. In Xanadu. I don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damn tangled highway. Xanadu, before its ruin, is faultless as an oracle, a shrine to perfect simulation. But maybe those weird interlopers destroyed my Xanadu. Perhaps they know how to fix it. May be dangerous. I've sent many eager seconds to negotiate with them to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Back the vines, crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees, from rock to crystal and then to mud. And you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now leave me alone. I still have a bit of mold in my pipe and a few dreams left. Alright. Fucking weirdo. Can't be right. Looks like an old church. Look inside. I guess. Want to stay outside. Okay. Stay with them. And look for lizards. Okay, we'll make it quick. Epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Al Rodolfo, generous disposition will be missed. Below is note written in white chalk. Okay. Well, let's just talk to the Junebug here. One, but it went under a rock. That's lizards for you. Why do you dress like a punk? You have a family, or is that guy your boyfriend? Punk, huh? Now, what's the punk dress like, kid? Can you tell me? I dress like Junebug specifically. I want to be specific. Sounds lonely. Not for us. Just gotta make choices and own them. You guys born this foxy? Came off the assembly line about a half foot shorter and all gray, no eyes. They're gonna have us clearing out the old mine. Doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water. Bunch of gray shadows shoveling and hammering invisibility at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player. He hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over. We knew we weren't miners. Slipped out onto the back road, just these two featureless shadows. Ever since that night, we've been detailing, coloring in, specifying. Feel more like myself every day. Feel more like myself when it's just me and Julian. Well, there, now you're getting specific. There you are. What'd you find in there? It wasn't. Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. Doesn't matter. Right, okay, we got what we need. Go. Alright, talk to Donald. Trace an orbit around the road. Close your eyes with holy dread, for we on mold and whiskey fed and drank from rivers down below. Found your strangers. We know how to fix your damn machine, but I'm not sure it was worth it. Oh, soon the visions will return. What have you found? Say you need to type in a specific phrase to restore it. Say you need to unplug it for a while. They say you need to scrape the mold off the timing crystal. I guess the mold. Too much mold on the timing crystal. Send the simulation adrift. Each moment lived out of sync. By all means, yes, clean the timing crystal. I'm now regretting reading everything out loud. My throat's killing me. Between that and my allergies, my throat is super raw. Anything that looks like a timing crystal, yeah, right behind here, behind the control panel, it's filthy. Right, we're supposed to scrape off this black moldy stuff. Weird. Just following instructions, here we go. End of road. Standing at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. Check out the building. What's your building? Side building. Inside a building, a storage shed for the National Park Service. There's a sensible modern electric lantern nearby. Get the lantern. Bacon. Exit building. Enter forest. Something you can enter, alright. Type of direction. North. Forest. We're in an open forest with a deep valley to one side. Climb a tree. I don't think much is to be achieved by that. Fair enough. When we dig a hole, can't see any such thing. Pretty limited vocabulary. South. You're in forest. Hey, it's a maze. South. You're in forest. Lula's here soldering replacement components to the small handmade radio. Oh, we should talk to her. Ask Lula how she is doing. Hi, Donald. I'm getting the strangest interference out here. I've been tuning the radio's circuits gradually as we go, swapping capacitor values and tweaking resistor networks. We're working for a while, but everything I can pick up sounds so distant and muffled. Lula hands you the radio. Well, maybe you'll have better luck. You're good at this stuff. Just don't forget to give it back. Let's go west. We're in forest. Joseph is here tapping with a small stylus on a modified pocket braille slate. A small gray kid, no more than a few weeks old, toes comfortably on top of his backpack. Maybe he has something to say. Listen, Donald, I was just transcribing your footsteps. Sounded like Joseph runs his finger along the index card he's been tapping on from right to left. Long, weary song, drearily gone, drearily gone. You beat a melancholy shuffle through these woods, Donald, huh? You've been noting down the sounds of the forest with an ear for speech, an inborn filter for poetry, I suppose. Maybe it's me being melancholy after all. I'm eager to see what the poetics subsystem makes of these punch cards. Let's go east. We haven't gone east yet. You're at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to the rock as the ground sinks into darkness. Computer tied to your upper back slickens with sweat in the afternoon sun. Rope slung over your shoulder is slipped under the strap of your backpack, digging uncomfortably against your collarbone. We're gonna lean in a bit and check it out. Down, the cave walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. You lose your footing and fall to your death. Oh, we're doing that for the achievement, so. Your score was 0 out of a possible 8192. Right? You may continue or quit. Continue. Maybe we need to climb down more carefully. Yeah, let's try using the rope. Tie rope to tree. The rope is tied snugly to a tree trunk. Down. Feet slip a few times on the slimy rock, but you remain stable. Lula and Joseph descend carefully after you. In bed quilt, okay. You're in bed quilt along east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph and Lula remove the computer equipment they are carrying on their backs and begin setting up. Last trip, so everything's down here now. Set up the gear. Only understood you as far as wanting to set the up above. Set the up. A little expensive. The gear that they're carrying. May as well take inventory. I've got the tape machine and the synthesizer parts we borrowed from the School of Music. All tuned up to my voice so we won't have to type so much. Joseph has a slate and the punch cards he's got transcribed from the poems we read him. Got the typewriter and the paper tape reader. You've got the CRT display. How's your back holding up? Hear about the cave. Having second thoughts, I don't blame you. It's unsettling down here. Weird acoustics. Earlier, as we were climbing down, I thought I heard voices for a moment. Or, not voices themselves, but the echoes of voices, singing. Some kind of eerie, tuneless working song. Glad I'm not down here alone. Joseph looks uncomfortable. I am uncomfortable. Jealous. Hey Donald, can you help me wire up these generators? I'll assemble the synthesizers, but I could use some help with the serial interference if you have time. Hear an unfamiliar echo from a tunnel to the east. Maybe if we help her, she'll have more to tell us. Help Lula. Thanks, Donald. I can never remember which color lead goes to which pin. Begins unpacking a box of wires and terminals. You think there are paintings down here? Cave paintings, I mean? Maybe some old pottery shards, not poetry shards. When the world was young and early men and women huddled in these caves to, I think cultural fossils are the saddest fossils. Better than animal remains, I mean. Might come across a petrified mollusk or a partial dinosaur footprint. We say, there was a point of contact here where a body touched the earth, and maybe there's a little bit of evidential garbage. The life who owned that body never cared and has moved on anyway. That's the end of it. But suppose I shine my lantern on one of these walls and I see a crude painting thousands of years old. 2 men and a woman, charcoal and blood on rock. Someone put that there to keep something in the rock after she passed. A hope, a relationship, or a moment. A worry maybe, a regret. She made a painting to keep something alive for her. Like that dead mollusk and that itinerant dinosaur, she had to move on. Whatever it was is gone, and now we're looking at this painting. Dangling copy with no original. Interrupted by the ominous echo of a grating, scraping sound from the east, louder than before. The hell was that? Let's check it out. Rush down the tunnel with Joseph and Lula close behind. Get kind of intense back there. Wonder if they're still thinking about it. Narrows, and soon you find yourself crawling on your hands and knees. Navigating the tunnel gradually becomes more awkward. Smooth rock gives way to jagged, crystalline surfaces. Scratches and taps echo from the end of the tunnel. Some short and piercing, some slower and groaning as if dampened by water. The tunnel opens into a large room. Crystal room. Spooky, scary skeletons. You're in a large, irregular chamber. The walls, floor, and ceiling are covered with crystalline projections. Strangers are here, scraping black mold from the crystals. They look up when you enter. One of them seems about to speak. Finally! Let's listen to what he says. Stranger reaches for a box he's carrying and presses a plastic button. The box whirs to life, and a crackly voice blurts something unintelligible, then slows to a deep gurgle. Looks at his companions momentarily in confused disappointment, and he returns his awful gaze to you. Joseph flees through a tunnel to the north. Lula flees through a tunnel to the northeast. Let's follow Lula. Joseph's blind. Run north. Lula's headlamp scans across the northern passage. As you run, soft shadows loom perplexingly from floor to ceiling. Feel around to distinguish shadows from crystals, but eventually find yourselves cornered. You have hit a dead end. Are they? Find a way out. Escape. That's not a verb I recognize. Look for escape. Can't see any such thing. Listen, I think they've gone back to work. They seem strange somehow. Have they forgotten about us? Alright, let's try to pass them quickly now. Don't make eye contact. We'll find our way back to the equipment. In bed quill along east-west passage with holes everywhere. Lula is here, panting for breath. Did they follow us? Where's Joseph? I guess search for him. Search. I only understood you as far as wanting to search. You have to be more specific. With the equipment. Search equipment. Various computer and audio equipment casts angular shadows into the tunnels as you scan slowly across the pile. Nothing. Back outside. Grab hold of the rope and slowly climb up. Your day's lecturing on esoteric computer science topics did not prepare you to scale cave walls with rope. Your evenings gathering with friends to roll dice and consult fancifully illustrated charts, however, prepared you for the likelihood that this climb could end badly. Carefully descend back into the cave. Joseph emerges suddenly from one of the tunnels. That damn sound, those damn voices. I don't even know what direction I was running. I wove through that network of tunnels. I ran my hand along the wall, always turning left. Every turn and every rock felt the same. For all I knew, I was running in circles. Finally, I ended up here. And I hid. I panicked. I heard you talking, but I didn't think I could trust my senses. Listen, there's one thing I have to tell you. While I was out there, lost in the tunnels and caves, I came across the Zero, and I had no idea. Like a real place, they pick up garbage, they deliver mail, they go to work and to church, but it has an awful kind of emptiness. Wandering through, I heard horrible echoes. Weird images got burned in my mind's eye. Television, a scarecrow, a crystal, a feather, a sandwich, a CRT monitor, bottle, an anchor. Lula looks down at her feet. What's up with Lula? Ask Lula what is up. Nothing. Just, Joseph, you sound disturbed. I mean, I am disturbed, but we'll continue. Lula, you've heard the same damn stories I have. It doesn't matter now, damn it. I'm leaving. To hell with all of it. Getting back on track. We're so close. Divert Joseph's attention. Shout something at Joseph about the project you are working on together. We'll die in these damn cold caves, and what about those men? You know they'll come back. Tell them we can find somewhere to start a fire. Shout something at Joseph about going deeper into the caves. You hear their voices, they'll find you, but not me. Going back to the surface. Stop, your stupid fight is ringing through the whole damned cave. Joseph is right. Can't stay here. I'm leaving too, but I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon and I'm heading down the Zero. I think we need her to stay. Ask Lula to stay. You plead with Lula about your continued collaboration. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail, and then you can see what your damned machine does with it. They've left. Alright. Getting by your collaborators, your confidants, your companions, the only two among your colleagues with whom you've ever trusted the gift of your friendship. Pretty thick, sounds like Beardo has his heart broken. Wander the tunnels alone, dragging along the components of your unrealized masterpiece. Combing the underground passages for a new site in which to realize your vision. Sounds like a genius. How do you mean? Wordy. Ah, that guy who came into the shop once with a bunch of old radios and computers and stuff. Real junk. I think he collected it going down alleys or something. Anyway, it was all broken. He asked me if I could get the tubes out and clean them up. Vacuum tubes. I pulled every vacuum tube I could find and threw the rest out, and I went over them with some rubbing alcohol and cleaned the leads. I used some nail polish remover on the glass. I did a pretty good job. Came back in the next day and I laid it all out in a towel for him so he could check it out. I got the towel from my Aunt Remedios, and like everything with her, it's really kind of nice, you know? It's red and it has this gold embroidery around the edges. I guess it was a little too nice. The guy got all excited by the presentation, kind of circled it and observed each tube from a distance, moving his head around in weird, quick bobs like a pigeon. And then he started just lecturing at nobody in particular about the history of vacuum tubes. Talked for an hour. We went on a few dates, but nothing really came of it. Turns out he was kind of boring. It took you a couple dates to figure that out? After what may have been years, you stumble out of a tunnel into cavernous open space. Stalactites adorn the ceiling like grotesques. In the center of the room is an enormous rocky spire. It's where you will set up your equipment and establish your legacy. We're playing the game within the game. Now is the time to continue your work. Research Assistant 0, Realism Index 37%, Romance Index 2%, Hold Coverage 0%. You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to a task, or sleep until tomorrow. Hire somebody. Hired Marianne, who studies fine art. Hire new research assistants. Or assign. Let's say speculation. It's kind of arty. Hire someone. Try again later. All right. I guess we'll sleep. Time passes. She makes a convincing argument for the edibility of stone. Now's the time to continue your work. All right. Hire somebody. Greg, he studies architecture. All right, Greg. Let's assign Greg to something. Let's say debugging. A2. All right, sleep. She identifies a bug with the oxygen level simulation, but is unable to fix it. Makes adjustments to the echolocation algorithm. Bats now fly normally instead of getting hung up on each other's wings, clustering together like horrible leathery tumbleweeds. Ugh. Ugh, just the thought of that. Ugh. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Now's the time to continue your work. Alright, let's hire somebody. Weaver, who studies mathematics. Oh, that's, Weaver is the one from the... She was the lady that we stopped at her house and she fucking disappeared on us. Let's go... Speculation. Do 1. Debugging. 1. And then... Did I do transcription or speculation? Alright, let's just sleep. Intruders. Alright, they're doing some of the equipment, but you can't make out what. Hide behind a rock until they leave. Trepidation, you emerge from your hiding place hours later. Now's the time to continue your work. Elegant, lively synthesizer music. Yeah. Soundtrack in this is pretty good, just the ambient music. I'm not convinced this is getting us any closer to the 0. Research Assistance 3, Realism Index, blah, 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 blah. Try to quit and start over. What the achievement guide is telling me, teehee. Come on, kid, we got stuff to do. You sure you want to quit? Yes. Quit game. Smash the computer. Alright, narcotic perfume? Well, you don't burn fungus, you know, mold. That's dangerous. Really did go deeper into the caves. Premature end of file, press any key to quit. Huh. shit, I missed one of the dialogue choices. Oh well. Hopefully I don't fuck myself too badly. You really did go deeper into the caves. Well, you're easy enough to find. Met a few of your former assistants. One can't help but hear things. So this is what became of our project. Well, I've made some additions. Joseph stole the data tapes from for the first half, so I made some blank spots to fill. I know, he published his version actually. I'm sorry to report that's a bit tediously sentimental. I'm looking for you. You found the address data, just passed it over to Donald here. Via Deer and Crunchy's numbers, we're looking to sort out a street name collision, Dogwood Drive. I'm gonna stop reading just because my throat's hurting like hell, and my voice will give out. Down. Alright, into the truck we go. Alright, so we need to drive counterclockwise.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Neon Verdi, thank you for the follow. You're having a good Wednesday. Oh, sorry, counterclockwise, duh. Cathode ray, alright. Alright, take 65 and drive clockwise. Alright. Drive counterclockwise until we see the TV. Dosahedron? Right, TV. Dan. Alright. Alright, so we were gonna... This is for an achievement, by the way. Back in the vehicle. Alright, Shannon's gonna drive for us. Save us time. Alright, let's go inside. Here you are, Marianne has the rest of the evening off, so I'm minding the desk. Any word on the address? Calls just came in by courier. Good news. Donald and his assistants were able to sort through the noise. Had Rick cross-reference their results against some of our records, he found a corresponding mail stop, the Echo River route. It happens the night ferry is scheduled to make its stop here shortly. Ferryman carries the mail and collects the garbage as well. I'm sure you can catch a ride out that way. Okay. Welcome away here. I have to get back to packing. Going somewhere? I might. I'm feeling impulsive and I'd like to be ready. Maybe back to Mexico. It's been years. They still have one of my sculptures in a museum down there. Did you know? Big, ugly iron thing. Time to have it scrapped anyway. Safe travels. Try to stay out of the water. It's colder than it looks and deep. It's the boost to get through. Thanks, Chris. Alright, so we have to go and wait with the others. How long do we have to wait? Oh, who knows. Alright, what happened? What? Nothing. Up to you. It's okay. You can tell them it doesn't matter anymore. Fine. So we were in that graveyard. Zero like Joe's students' grades or whatever. Zero like your gamer score and soundfall. Haven't you guys been playing that for like 20 hours at least? You have zero gamer coins in it? It glitched or what? Okay, so now we're gonna find out what happened in the graveyard when they left and ran into the building. Glitch a 0 out of 1,000. Oh, is it like when there's normally like some kind of glitches on Xbox Live where it'll do that sometimes. Like an old church, worth look inside. Yes, want to stay out. All right. Okay, is what I said before. At a church, so I won't burst into flames. All right. Now let's sit on the bench. Known thing if you have too many games on your profile. Yikes. Strangers, he kept saying. Kind of vague already, isn't it? Donald's a stranger. Hell, you and I are practically strangers. And earlier in the mine, I didn't want to talk about it, but fine down there, when I saw Weaver, she was on TV. Was testing a pretty simple tube repair, flipping through channels to check the saturation. She was just there. Kind of horrible. I mean, I told you she disappeared suddenly, ran away, but we thought she was dead. Yeah, I guess I don't like to say it. Dead. Then the next time I flipped to channel 2, Weaver. Burned in my vision now. She's standing in a room. Walls are a blank kind of gray. There's tape on the walls like markings and desks. Classroom maybe? Camera's in the corner, so it's this sort of 45-degree angle into the room. There's Weaver right in the center of the picture. I stopped turning the dial. Hell, I think I stopped breathing. Eventually she spoke. There's no real sound. Awful hum. I read the closed captions. Said to go to the mine. I'd find something there. Can't remember her exact words. Whenever I try, I get distracted. Fuzzy. I toss into her sleeve. So dusty in here, right? Yeah, real dusty. Think with all these holes in the ceiling. What the hell was that? Did you hear that? My computer controller just vibrated. Must have been the church settling. Or now let's check outside. Shit. Oh. Known thing if you have too many games on your profile, few new games, several older ones randomly change to 0 out of 1,000 stay that way. I think more keeps getting altered, but I don't know. That's weird. I haven't even heard of that. He's glowy like my leg. Oh, I'm in control of the spooky, scary skeleton. Visitors. Activates the tape player slung on his shoulder. A crackly drawl echoes in the room. It is patient and sounds like it should be smiling. My regrets. I hope I didn't keep you waiting long. We don't see a lot of foot traffic these days. Guess you're here about the job. I'm afraid we only have one opening at the moment. Horrible business. We're actually looking for some information about an old computer. Certainly, I'll tell you everything you need to know. Only just met you, but I feel certain there's a place for you here. Just take you over to meet the dispatcher, show you the trucks, get you familiarized. We can converse as we go. What is this place? Well, it's not an old church. I guess not. It all has a kind of reverence to it. That smell, like bread, baking bread. Please follow me. I have to ask you to step in here a moment. This is for your safety and adjust your outfits just a bit. White pizza is a fucking banger. I think I saw that on a list of possible ones I could grab on Keymailer. Some protective headwear up on the wall back there. Please remove your shoes and eyeglasses. Don't wear glasses. That won't be an issue. Well, do us a favor and put on the headwear anyway, just this way. Shuttle time. Easy to get around internally. How big is this place? Oh, it's grown a great deal over the years. Incredible to think, really. Mr. Bishop founded this operation. It was only about 1,800 square feet, and half of that or more was occupied by camouflage to keep the law out. I out in the back of an old church, purifying spirits by hand-made fire. A kettle and a dream. The trucks are just east a ways, and shipping. You can become acquainted with the dispatcher there. Give me a tap on the shoulder if you see something that catches your eye. Always happy to show off the facilities, the blind machinery. That's a little unsettling. We need to get to the docks, apparently. I mean, is shipping the docks? Oh, okay. Need to get to... This is the setup for the achievement earlier. Okay, so shipping and docks is completely different, so we still need to find docks. Controls for this are not very intuitive, unfortunately. Alright, so I think we can get out here. Alright, okay, so it's very hard to see, but a little paper boat from earlier. Alright. Now we can go to shipping. Yes. Better drive than a Warthog or the Mako. Go the direction I'm asking you to go, please. Alright, that's where I need to be. I hop in the truck. Here it is. Now I have to ask as a matter of course, what kind of experience do you have driving trucks? Just cargo, you'll do just fine, and you can drive safely, can't you? I have any doubt now, it's only after what happened with Miguel this evening. I've been driving all my life, for better or worse. Suppose that's all you must say? I like that. Never say more than you must. Boastful and ugly. I do pity ill-fated Miguel. He was good company and slow to anger, but if we're speaking confidentially, well, with all that lost product to be repaid, bourbon and glass dashed across the interstate, a few casks too, we're all just thankful he had no next of kin. Oh, okay, so that was the big car accident that we saw earlier in the game, back in Act 1. You should tell it to go right. So it's the left stick, and it, no matter what direction I was pushing it in, it was like stubbornly not going there. Next time, Chris, I'll tell it to go right. Maybe that'll work. Let's see if we can ring up the dispatcher. Radio. Doolittle starts the truck and switches on the CB radio. A deep, monotonous voice drones from the dashboard speaker. 1020 on that load, come back. Up in the Hummingbird Cave, 1012, City Kitty. A good time dispatch, we may have found Miguel's replacement. You might like to get acquainted. 10-9, come again. Introduce yourself. To meet you? I'll dispatch something impressive about yourself. They're very well regarded here. I guess I could drive a truck like this. I gotta pay the water bill. So I'm certain they'll call back before long. Take a look around the truck, eh? Alright. Let's check out the back. I really shouldn't do any lifting these days, yeah, because I got my weird skeleton leg. I see. Well, surely we can spare dolly and carrying strap for your health and safety. Up on baled hay. What? In their interest, friend. After all, we must meet our financial obligations. Kick the tires, that's the thing we do, isn't it? So our knees could exert the kind of force these tires see out there on the road. Tires look fine. Sure it wasn't tires that failed our dear Miguel, we are quite sure. What kind of man was he? Alright, this is kind of weird. Listened. Speaker listed all the things we tried that we, most people in the room, were probably there by court order. The others shared spoken abstractions like a program of action, good orderly direction, spiritual but not religious, religious but not spiritual, all the things we tried. When it was over, they clasped sweaty hands through a short prayer, but back out into the morning. He knew it was time to hit a bar. Started walking. He was always walking these days. It was good to slow down. Felt clarifying, like a walking meditation. The road ran by a creek for a while. Took an unforeseen detour where the creek and road parted, following the edge of the water. Skipped a few stones alone, then stopped to consider an overturned boat. Kind of serenity, that wandering and looking without purpose. He was coming to rely on those moments. Now, what else can we show you? Wipers, I guess. Control the knob. Ditch class for the day to drive in the rain. Pointless to stay, all review, he was a lost cause and she didn't need it anyway. He was smart, bored, it was time to cut out. Shitty day for it though, 83 in biblical flood. I went to see a movie. Some anonymous swashbuckler film about real men and women, real tights, real lips, fake blood. They brought a flask. Smoked cigarettes, drank awful hooch, whistled buckets of rain. Sang about someone she wants to have loved. Brown hair curled around her ear. She had a voice like Scotch whiskey. It was time to go. Stiff drinks were wearing on him, and he felt a surge of dejection. He knew she'd keep singing. He thought she could sing for someone who deserved to hear it. He knew she'd find a ride, so he slipped out alone. Oh, is this about the woman who Junebug and Johnny heard sing before? Got in his car and went over some options. Chicago, Toronto, Barrow. Seemed like a bold and impulsive gesture at the time. As he pulled out of the parking lot, he removed his hands from the steering wheel for a moment, felt the car drift into a decision. Years later, he'd think of this as the moment he himself started drifting. Honest technology, but suited the job, eh? Plenty good enough. Right. Headlights. Fine. If our product goes out at night, you never know who you'll run into in the daylight, and dusk can be treacherously misleading with all that indirect light. The magic hour, eh? Drivers sleep in the day then? Sure, those that sleep. Miguel pulled extra day shifts when he could. Sometimes he'd help me, you know, sometimes over in bottling. Shouldn't have been out driving at dusk. Weird shadows, soft light, dangerous. Turned off into some gray cornfield in Indiana. Watch traffic and the birds. Seeing those migrations close up, they looked random. Thought about the load in the trailer, thousands of plastic cups. Somebody wanted those cups in Rockford that night. It wasn't going to happen. It's only human. Been out since the headlights were on. Didn't even stop for coffee. He cracked a beer at 3, eyes on the road. Why would you drink if you're not getting sleep? 4:30, he dodged some stray cattle. The headlights were coming back on. Rockford could wait. Early morning couldn't be much worse than late night. What could they care? Just needed a few hours. Oh, moving on. Radio, I guess. Crackles back to life. Driver come back. Here's dispatch. Now tell them about your experience. Tell them the truck's in good shape. Excuse me. Tell them you'll start in the morning. Driving for a number of years, decades dispatch. Black eyes and a flock of crocodiles come back. Back it down and prick your eyelids. Come back, Lem. 10-4. Come back, wheel holder. 10-4. Listen to this. So, that went well. Let's head back up to logistics and seal the deal, eh? Got one more thing to show you. No, I did not want to go up this way. Why are you making me go this way? Oh, park. I thought it was just be like there's an actual park with swing sets or some shit, but it does the auto. Head back upstairs. Hey, I have one more thing to show you. We only came here looking for some answers about this stupid moldy computer. Oh, the old man in the cave with the moldy computer. Black mold. It's drawn to whiskey. Feeds on ethanol fumes, you see. As we age the whiskey, some of it inevitably evaporates into the air. The angels share. Through the vents here and out into the caves, if we scrape up that mold, we can usually apply some pressure and cold to it, squeezing condensed angel share back into drinkable whiskey. We drop counts when you're making a living on the stuff. So, we'd go down and scrape it off his equipment just like any other place it grows. He kept sending his people here to drive us away. Paranoid, truly paranoid. Well, now we have the formula, so we don't need to go collecting mold. If we stop going down there, I'm sure the mold's gotten pretty thick. Try cleaning off the timing crystal, that'll get you going, I'm sure of it. Join me upstairs? Sure. Don't mind. Adding machine, alright. It is a beauty when you say it's an antique, you know. Is it? Why, it's an adding machine. This is where we come for our daily ritual. Calculate today's interest and repayment according to the formula. Usually do so at the beginning of my shift so I know how many hours I need in order to keep up. Yes, I believe you do well here, sir. Happy to have you. Congratulations, you're hired. Wait, we can't... Customary here to start each day with a shift drink, not a stiff drink. Shift drink. Make it special, mark the occasion. This is top shelf stuff now. Single barrel. Doesn't... Down the hatch. Memore Morris. Lachaim. He's enough. Welcome aboard. He's not working for you. We have to get back to this. He has a delivery to make. Not working. Are you turning down this opportunity? Right. I have to make this. I'm disappointed. Afraid that leaves us with a delicate problem. As I indicated, this is the top shelf stuff that you're drinking now. It isn't cheap. Not your first shift drink. Well, and there's the matter of this tour just now. My time and experience are billed at quite a premium. Oh man, everything costs money, a lot of money in this world. Not good for you, my friend. You're in quite deep. By my back of the envelope estimations. Well, we have that in common, I suppose, all of us. Yes, I'm afraid you'll have to work. It's off somehow, it's just a way of it. Happening right now. Start tomorrow, take the time to settle your affairs, of course. Interest begins to compound immediately, and well, we'll go over the formula when you get here. Get back to work. See you tomorrow then. It's all a ruse. I guess they start in the morning. I guess I'm confused. The way these things go, kid. Well, that still gives us a few hours to roam, right? Where's that ferry? Alright, fucking woolly mammoth and shit. End of Act 3. We got the interlude. I can't believe that there's only one non-rare achievement in this game. The first one you get. Everything else, like, nobody else played through the game, I guess. Here and there along the echoes, the interlude. Alright, let's dial the number there. 0, 3, 0, 1, 5, 7, 9, 7.
A guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
All right. I'm waiting. Phone. Two, 7, 0, 3, 0, 1, 5, 7, 9, 7.
Hello. You have dialed into here and there along the Echo. a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
Cooking for one person's worse. I don't like eating the same leftovers several days, so I end up overeating. I don't mind having leftovers. I'll find ways to like, you know, make it less, you know, repetitive. What are you cooking right now?
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service
Chicken tacos?
provided by the Bureau
I'm
of
sure you can
Secret
make other
Tourism.
stuff with the chicken. Hey, Legend, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. So it says on my guide here, dial the number on the strip of paper. You'll be met with an interactive voice response system. Learn about the Echo River and its tourist attractions. Follow the number prompts you fit.
The time allotted for you to dial has been exceeded. Please hang up and dial again. This is a recording.
Okay. Two, 7, 0, 3, 0, 1. Oop, fuck. One, 5, 7.
The number you have dialed is not real.
It's super obtuse. Let me check the. There's like backup guides to it here. All right. 2, 0, 1. Oh, sorry. Not 201, 270. And if film posters, for some reason, if you could have one original James Bond film poster in your room, which one would you choose? From Russia with Love, got to be my pick. I've actually got a lot of the framed posters. I've got From Russia with Love. I've got the Skyfall poster from when I went opening night on IMAX. Got GoldenEye, Casino Royale, um, Spectre, quite a few. Phone on the left side of the screen, dial a number. All right, 270-301-5797.
Hello. You have dialed into here and there along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of
If I posted a pic from those posters on Twitter or something, would love to see it one day. I don't. I still need to hang them up from when I moved. Um, when I do that, I'll probably post it on my Twitter. They're not reading through the numbers here. Thoughts about the new Obi-Wan episode? I won't say much because it just came out today, and I know I don't want to spoil it for some people, but I really loved it. So I agree. It was phenomenal. Really asinine. Pick up the phone, put it on the left side of your screen, and dial a number. Someone will start talking and be quick, put it on speaker, and put the phone back. All right.
Hello. You have dialed into here and there along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
It's supposed to give me a menu here. Haven't even started yet. McGee, it's really good. It's like I'm trying to remember which episode it was that was kind of a little slow and meh, but the rest have been bangers. All right, I'm looking at this video guide now. All right. I'm not sure why it's not giving me the audio or the menu. Going to bed. Take care, Legend. Thank you for dropping by. We'll make sure McGee watches Kenobi. That's his homework. All right. 2, 7, 0, 3, 0, 1, 5, 7, 9, 7.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
It's supposed to give me a menu here. Think Joe's oldness would help him use this old phone? Dude, I'm doing everything the guide is asking me to do. 2, 7, 0, 3, 0, 1, 5, 7, 9, 7.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
And the music just goes away. It's supposed to have the sound. It's supposed to read off things here. Here, I'll just select one. Let me see what he does here in this video. Yeah, so it's supposed to be playing a sound.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
I don't know if it's glitched or what. Load. See if reloading's gonna get it to work.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
Man, I don't know what to tell you guys. Supposed to give me a voice that rings out the menu.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
Alright, let's try this again.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
I think it's glitched. we're gonna try is I'm gonna quit out and restart the game. So give me just a quick moment here, YouTube. I'm gonna pause the local recording and see if that works. Here and there along the echo.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
I don't get the options that should proceed from this dialogue, only silence. Someone says they've been doing this for hours. Um, hang up the phone. All right, so you can call the actual number apparently. Can only play the new interlude by dialing a phone. You have to call the real phone number. Um, you'd think they would have fixed all the bugs by now. The game's been out for fucking ever, dude. On Steam.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
All right, let's try extension. Seven. Oop. 3, 6, 0. Nope. Achievements not once. No, it's like literally to progress the game, I need to get through this. So I don't know what the glitch is and why it's not. So weird trying to maneuver it here.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
Maybe I'll search glitch instead of bug. Um, Here and there along the echo bug. When I dial the number, I get the intro message, but no actual options to choose. Am I doing something wrong? Nobody responded to that one. All right. See if anyone else gets stuck here. You can alternately just call the number from your actual phone. I found this to be much more enjoyable than playing the segment in game with the virtual phone. I have to fast forward the subtitles. Oh, okay.
For a menu of our resources,
Oh my god, it was the subtitles the whole time?
if you have an extension to dial, press 9. For more information about our organization, press 3. If you don't remember dialing this number at all, the Bureau of Secret Tourism is supported by a generous population of river creatures whom I fix up and grill as necessary. I am environmentally minded, and I believe all creatures are equally deserving of support in their transition to the next world. So I usually try to sing a little elegy, like, small water creature, crab or frog, something like that. It's easier to come up with these songs when I'm hungry in a sort of transcendental fasting. A debt of gratitude is also owed to the Bureau.
All right, let's.
You can always
I'm
find
so over
the
this
latest
right now.
secret tourism literature.
Cool, ready to go? Yeah, let's go. Uh, So the walkthrough on TA, the 2 guides on TA, they say nothing about hitting the B button to push through it, and that's all just for that one achievement there. Um, for 15 gamer coins. Well, that that kind of ruined my enjoyment of the game right now. I'm annoyed by it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording here. So YouTube, I'll catch you on part 3.